Hoa! Hi, everybody. I am live from Cooper's Rock Overlook in scenic Morgantown, West Virginia on September 13th, 2016. This is the National Day of Action at Sacred Stone Camp, at Red Warrior Camp, at camps all over the Americas and indigenous camps throughout the world, celebrating this day of reflection on Mother Earth, initiated by the Oceti Sakowin meeting of 7 nations of the Sioux tribe in the Dakotas. You may have been following this for the past few months. American Indian tribes in the United States have been coming together over the issue of land use and land development in the state of North Dakota. And this discussion has been going on regarding something called the Dakota Access Pipeline. So you might have seen the hashtag campaign, hashtag no DAPL, DAPL, no Dakota Access Pipeline. So you might be familiar with this, but for those who are not familiar with this, I shall take a moment to explain. For some time, there has been talk of placing a pipeline from North Dakota that would run south to southern Illinois, and the possibility had existed that it might move around the Great River, but now it is going to be going underneath it. That's the plan. And the issue is public-private land use, because already some of the private lands in the Dakotas have been developed, meaning they've just started to plow to lay the pipe in private lands, but public access lands, lands that are under the purview of the United States Army Corps of Engineers, federal lands, have been granted a stay by the Obama administration, which means President Obama 2 Fridays ago requested, or ordered rather, no development, that any development on federal lands stop, as this plan for development comes now under review. One of the complaints that has been lodged by the Dakota Sioux, the Sioux Nation, and associated tribes and other tribes, is that tribes were not consulted about this plan to lay this pipe through the northern part of the United States. This pipe would, if it is created, pump greater than 400,000 barrels of oil daily. If there is an oil spill, according to the tribal leaders and the tribal members, of course, this would wreak havoc on the land and threaten the water supply, threaten the quality of the water supply, threaten the source of the water for all. As a result of this discussion about the Dakota Access Pipeline, many tribes have come together. But one of the things that we're doing today is a teach-in to talk about land usage. And I'm going to be really brief. I've gone 4 minutes already. I'm going to go about 4 minutes more. Energy transfer partners. So here's the question. Who's behind the Dakota Access Pipeline? It's a company called Energy Transfer Partners, and it is a large corporation that's actually made up of about 50 corporations, including corporations that own music companies. But these corporations are involved in all aspects of our lives. So I'm sure that right now, somehow, I am probably benefiting from something that these 50 corporations have created, right? So the question becomes, we are aligned with corporations, but do the corporations have the best interest of they're consumers at heart when they plan large-scale energy projects like the Dakota Access Pipeline. This is one question that I would ask my students to consider when we talk about issues of corporate responsibility. So one of the chief complaints, to go back again, is the Native American people, American Indian people, have said, hey, you want to lay this pipe in land that you privately own, plus you want to lay the pipe in the federal land. And we basically, they're saying, we would prefer that you not take the oil out of the land, period. Whether it's public land, whether it's private land, leave the oil in the land so that we don't disturb the peace and the quality and the sanctity of the earth. And this ties in, of course, to the question of land stewardship. And history, recent history in particular, has shown and documented how American Indians have played a pivotal role in land stewardship and land conservation. One can look at the Minnesota Anishinaabe tribes and look at their conservation of the water, land, and their rejection of oil development and the expansion of their rice growing in cottage industry, and see how American Indians have worked to build collectives and farming enterprises that preserve the quality and the integrity of the land. One of the leaders of this stewardship movement, and there are many, many, many leaders, but one who has written a lot about this subject is Anishinaabe member Winona LaDuke. She ran as vice presidential candidate with Ralph Nader, and she's written extensively about the topic of land usage. She is now in the Dakotas with the leadership and other members. I mean, just to give you the idea of the scope of this Oceti Sakowin. Oceti Sakowin is the joining of the 7 Sioux nations. And then what has happened over the past few days is tribes from all over the world are amassing in Dakotas for a meeting with the Oceti Sakowin. And this is a unity meeting, which historically may be unprecedented according to historians. About 100,000 people basically are in Dakota right now, and they're affiliated with indigenous people. They are indigenous people, and they are all focusing their attention on land usage. So Winona LaDuke is there. I've actually met her on 2 occasions, and if you are interested, please check out her recent books on the subject of land conservation preservation. And I'm going to enjoy this beautiful, lovely view, unspoiled pretty much, from West Virginia. So enjoy. Hawa.